No, we don't. Can we not start early?
Oh.
I can't start early, fine. I'll be patient.
Oh, thank you.
You have to give everybody an opportunity to get it.
Oh,
Let's have to come pick them up, or, I'm sorry. Forgive me for being impatient. Okay.
sorry. I was like, yeah, let's go.
I was actually gonna turn this one.
Well, I don't want to do much bad. 1 minute. Well, get your sash.
I need to go.
Okay.
Okay, if we would stand, please, let's start our meeting. You bow with me for a word of prayer. Lord God, we just praise you and we thank you for this day, Lord God. We thank you for your hand upon Dr. Green today as a surgery and that everything went well with that, Father. And we just pray now, Lord, that you be with this council, help us to have wisdom and knowledge in all decisions that we have to make. And I just pray that you be with us in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Steele. Here. Councilman Cole. Here. Councilman Likens.
Here.
Councilman Grabowski.
Here.
Councilor, oh my goodness, Keller.
Here.
I forgot how to do my job. Vice President Green. President Norris.
Present. Okay, the minutes. Have you guys had an opportunity to review the minutes from February 10th meeting?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that passes. And we have the agenda today. Was there any, do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move. I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That passes. I don't have any comments right now. Auditors report?
Sam's not with me, so you'll get spared that boring ClearGov work, and we can get back to our exhilarating cash flow spreadsheet. I did want to bring this spreadsheet up because I'm super happy with your outlook. I think a tremendous amount of this is this council's work and really matching expenditures with expenses and doing a good job at it. But the thing I want to focus on is right here. I always talk to you about I got a big green arrow now. I'm really happy about it too. I'm always talking to you about the pinch points in the general fund budget revolves around the property tax collections. So your pinch points are going to be in May and November, okay? That's when your money's going to be the tightest because you're running right up. You're spending more money than you're bringing in every month, running your balance down, and then you get property taxes. Remember, property tax account for roughly 50% of the total revenue in the general fund. But one thing that's exciting as we look into this year is for the first time in probably 3 years, we are positive here in May. The way we're looking right now, we're going to end May with $3.4 million. Okay, so if you look at that cumulative fund budget and then you start comparing it to these months before here, January was 5.2 million. Usually January is a big spending month. People are coming into their new budget. They've run their budgets dry from last year. You have things like longevity, different expenses that happen at the beginning of the year. So you usually have a lot of expenses in January. Okay, but then you have 3.2 million in March, 4 million in April. So to have 3.4 going into June, remember we settle at the end of June. So you got enough money. You may get close to negative within June, but being negative within the month isn't crucial. It's being negative at the end of the month that's crucial, especially in the general fund. So this year you're going to be able to be positive going into June for the first time in about 3 years. So, but I think that's all from you guys' work. You've done a great job managing the cash and the appropriations. And if you look, the exciting part here is we actually came into the year with 14.7 million. And just the way it sits, remember these are historical numbers, and I'll kind of touch base on that again to remind you how it works. But right now, it looks like we're projecting at the end of the year a $16 million balance, which is a very healthy balance. We're almost 15 coming into the year. Now, if you'll start looking at the 2026 budget we passed, that's 44.8 million. Okay, we did some additional appropriations. We took care of that 21% for the merit board. So that was 526,000, so a little over $500,000 for the 21% for the merit board. We had the $150,000 reduction in other services and charges from the sheriff's general fund budget, which he's going to spend out of the commissary to help fund his portion. The commissioners will have their $300,000 that you'll get, and then you'll have to fund the rest of that 21% raise. But right now it's really, really looking good. This is the best footing we've had starting into the year. You can see our lids up to $1.1 million a month coming in. But you see, even with the lid of 1.1, your miscellaneous receipts, you're still not going to match your expenditures on a monthly basis. And that's all because of that tax draw. You get the tax draw 2 times a year. So anyway, that's all I had to share with you. I'm super excited about it. You guys are doing a great job. This is the first time we've been here in 3 years that's like this. So thank you. Are there any questions?
I had a question on March. Is there a reason why all other receipts is so much lower than the rest of the months projected?
What I do is I look historically. If you think about most receipts and most expenses, things happen at the same time every year, and usually now obviously there's some fluctuation, but revenues come and expenses come pretty well at the same time of each year. There are some miscellaneous revenues that don't behave in that way, but instead of just averaging it out by 12 or dividing it by 12 and taking the average, we try to look at it, what happened last year, and then apply that, give us a historical basis for the projection going into next year. So that's also why you'll see these. Usually the projections are much higher for January and December too. If you look at the December, for example, the expenditures in December are always higher from the rest of the year because people are spending their budget down. They're trying to get the stuff they need for next year, so they're not starving to death next year. So expenses are always highest in December and January.
So there's no one thing that contributes to that being like almost half of the next lowest. Wow.
No.
Historically, what?
The kicker with the receipts is there's 45 different revenue streams, so you never know what's hitting. if you think about our public defender's reimbursement, we get 3 or 4 chunks a year. Well, when it shows up, it's a lot of money. If we get about 4 chunks, it's roughly $250,000 that shows up in that month. So then it combines with the other 44 revenues to get it. So it's not stable. It's not an average. So we just try to map it out, what happened last year, and put that into this year.
Any other questions? Okay.
Okay, thank you. And I know you guys love my spreadsheet, and I tried to send it to you ahead of time so you could look at it too. So I knew you'd be excited about it. If you want to frame, I can frame it.
Okay, our next business is the Reedy Financial. We've discussed this multiple times. I don't know that we're any closer from the state, and I really, really think it's important that we move forward with hiring them to ascertain the effects of Senate Bill 1 on our property taxes, so that we know that information earlier rather than at the last minute like we did last year. So I'd like, they said it would take about a month to do the information, to get it all together. So I'd like some discussion about that. Questions, or if not, can I have a motion to proceed forward with that contract?
Are we doing that now, or are we doing that under the new money miscellaneous funds?
It's up at the top under old business. You guys ready? That's fine. Okay, we'll wait till the end. Okay, the next thing is the merit deputy's contract. If not, can I have a motion to ascertain the effects of Senate Bill 1 on our property taxes, so that we know that information earlier rather than at the last minute like we did last year? So I'd like, if they said it would take about a month to do the information, to get it all together. So I'd like some discussion about that. Questions, or if not, can I have a motion to proceed forward with that contract?
Are we doing that now, or are we doing that under the new money miscellaneous funds?
It's up at the top under old business. Oh,
Unless you have it funded elsewhere, somewhere else. Professional services, and what is the amount?
no, we don't have it under professional services. I don't believe so.
Yeah,
I have
it
it. Is it, do we have enough?
Mhm.
Oh, is it? Oh, it is there? Sorry, I'm just looking at the contract here. Of the thing. Okay. I've got my stuff. Okay. So we'll hold off on doing that. So then, I guess we should have had enough to deal with this. Unless, can we deal with it now, or do we need to wait till we get to that point?
You can wait from there.
That's fine. Okay, we'll wait till the end. Okay, the next thing is the merit deputy's contract. I wanted the attorney to discuss that really quick with us, and then we'll take a vote on that.
So the focus was whether or not.
Is that microphone on? I'm sorry.
That's better. Okay. Yes, the focus was, the contract did not contain a provision about next year. It was an automatic renewal if there wasn't a contract in place. And the concern was whether or not that was valid if you either chose not to fund it or the funds weren't available. You didn't put it in the budget, in other words. So there's a specific state statute that deals with that. It's Indiana Code 5-22-17-5. And I'll just read it briefly here. It's pretty short. When the fiscal body of the governmental body makes a written determination that funds are not appropriated or otherwise available to support continuation of performance of a contract, the contract is considered canceled. The second subdivision B, states a determination by the fiscal body that funds are not appropriated or otherwise available to support continuation of performance is final and conclusive. That's an incredibly strong statement by the Indiana legislature, that if you guys don't appropriate the money, written determination that funds are not available, the contract cannot be renewed. It's canceled. Very strongly worded. So at the council president's request, I made a very slight amendment to the contract itself. And under section 4A, I'll read what it said originally. It says, in the event that a new agreement is not reached and adopted by both parties prior to the expiration date of this agreement, the terms of this agreement shall remain in force until such time as a new agreement has been reached and adopted by both parties. And then I inserted, quote, subject to Indiana Code 5-22-17-5, end quote. So I just inserted that citation subject to that provision that I just read. So if for some reason during the budget for 2027, if you decide the funds are not available, the contract is canceled.
I do have a question. I was talking to Caitlin. She said it's not quite that simple for them to revise it like that, like it is for us. If it's not revised and we vote on it tonight, that statute is just as strong as if it weren't in there.
That's absolutely right.
So
The vast majority of contracts that I see do not have that provision in there, and many of them are multi-year contracts. But the code section counteracts anything that is in the contract.
That's more of just so it's not a surprise to anybody.
Yes, as I mentioned before, it just makes it very clear to everybody once it's in the contract. If it's not in the contract, the code section is still a code section, and that is state law.
And it's been that way since
Yes, since 1997 was when that statute was added.
I think it's probably stacked up here.
Caitlin, could you come up here, please? Okay, so either way, we're protected, whether it's in the contract or not. I'd like it to be in the contract, and I understand that it's not that simple to this year. So because I feel confident that we have that protection, I would be okay with the contract. Going forward, I would like it to be in the contract.
And that's certainly something, it's nothing that we can change without taking to the merit body. It's certainly something that in the future we can take to them and see if they will vote yes on the wording to that. But for this year, it would then push us back months again because we would have to take it to our body commissioners and then the council again. So, but like you said, and like the attorney has said, state statute always trumps our contract. If there's a dispute between one or the other, state statute always wins. So you guys are protected under that.
And I do agree, since you're the last body to approve it, it would have to go back and get all those changes ratified by the mayor, board, and commissioners.
I make a motion that we approve the contract.
Second.
So I have a first and second. Do I have any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay, thank you. We do have a copy of the contract with us tonight. Would you guys like that now to sign, or would you like me to stick around after the meeting?
That would be great. I don't want to do it. I don't want to stop right now to sign it, but yes.
Thank
that would be
you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So got a 3-year contract.
It is a 1-year contract.
1 year.
Okay, moving on, no new business, new money. So emergency management. Now, I want to apologize. He contacted me. Let me get to my stuff here. I got a pile of stuff here. He was going to be here tonight, but he has to be at AU tonight for an emergency commission type thing that they've got going there. And he understands that we've taken a hard stance about if you're not available to be here, that we don't generally hear it. This is it is a new money request from the Emergency Plan Right to Know Fund. It is a grant that they've received. He said it would be detrimental to him to have to wait until next month to have us hear this. So I'm asking if the council will make an exception on this one time, because he did contact me. He did show me what it is that he's at tonight and that he needed to be there for that, being that he's the head of emergency management in the county. So,
I make a motion to approve.
okay.
Second.
Okay, I got a first and a second. Did you get that, Todd?
Any discussion?
Yeah, any discussion on that?
And I hope that, I think it's only common sense that we do this. And I hope that in the future, it is considered by all for other departments as well.
Yes. And I also want to admit, I want to just advise that I brought it up last council meeting, that these kind of grants and stuff, I want to see brought to us at budget time, even if you don't know if you're getting the grant, to give it to us, to appropriate at that time. If the grant doesn't go through, that's fine, because there just won't be any, you won't be able to spend it because you don't have it. But at least then you're not having to come to us in the middle of the year to do these appropriations. So hopefully we won't see a lot of that next year. So I don't know that, yeah, did we do vote? No, we did not. So all in favor of the new money request, say aye.
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 All opposed? Okay, that passes. Okay, next is MCCC.
Evening.
Evening.
David Kane with Community Corrections. This is a request to move money from the misdemeanor fund. Misdemeanor fund is, it's a longstanding supplemental fund that we kind of think of it as the rainy day fund. What it does, it prevents us from having to come back and ask for new money under county general. It's been going down for years. It's non-reverting, so there is money in the account, and it'll be recharged again later this year, but likely will go down again. Essentially what this does is we're just moving money into accounts that we've largely depleted. So the first one, 3,700 communication transportation, there's currently $1,752 in that account. We're proposing to move $3,000 from misdemeanor into it. 3,600, there's $179 in it for repairs and maintenance. We're proposing to move $7,000 into it. And on 3,700, there's still $10,000 in that account. We're proposing to move $8,000 into it because those are rentals and they just keep recurring. We know that we'll spend the money. So that's what we're asking. To your point about bringing these to you early on in the process, you may or may not recall, this is one that we used to pay salaries out of, and it just wouldn't sustain itself. So with the graciousness of the council, we were able to move that, and now we use it as a rainy day fund. We pay bills and don't have to ask for additional county general. And there's still money in it. We'll probably have to do it again.
Okay,
I make a motion to approve.
thank you. Do I have a second? Second. Any discussion? Any more questions? If not, all in favor, signify by aye.
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 Thanks very much.
Thank you. Okay, courts.
Good evening, council. That's Judge Sims from the courts. I'm actually presenting the problem-solving court, which includes the first item, and then the SIM grant, and then the drug court, and then Judge Dudley's presenting the other two. So if you don't mind taking the one out of order, we could just make it a little more efficient. So the first request is for our problem-solving court. We have a probation officer assigned to our problem-solving court. We unfortunately realized that we made an error in the 2026 proposed budget for a probation officer because they are statutorily, or their salaries are statutorily determined, and we did not move our probation officer to the next level of his years of experience. So the request before the council tonight, we are proposing that we just take the adjustment out of our problem-solving court user fee account. It's fairly minimal comparatively speaking. And so that request is for the $1,915.96 to make sure our probation officer is being paid in compliance with the statute, given his years of experience.
Do I hear them? Do you want to just take them all together?
You want to do that? Okay,
We'll do
sure.
them all together.
The second one then is the SIM grant that the problem-solving court received some money out of. It is one of our state grants. It is to supplement one of our case manager salaries in the amount of $13,840. So the request tonight is to request the appropriation from that grant to that budget line number for that case manager and problem-solving court. Any questions on that one? Okay. And then the last one that I have is our Department of Correction grant that actually provides funding for all three of our treatment courts. I was before the council last month for our mental health court, reentry court. We had some numbers we had to reconcile in the drug court budget. So that's been done, and that's before you tonight. And so again, requesting appropriation of those funds that are set forth in the request from the grant to our to pay for our problem-solving court expenses that are outlined there on the appropriation of request.
Okay, do I have a motion for those three funds to approve that?
I make a motion to approve.
Second. Any discussion, any questions? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Evening, Mark
Hi.
Dudley.
Morning.
Two different grant requests, or a request to appropriate grant money. The first is for volunteer advocates for seniors and incapacitated adults. That's to fund the program. That money comes from the state of Indiana. The second is the family court grant, also state funds. That funds a program that provides attorneys for parents trying to reestablish custody and or parenting time. And so if you want more detail, I can give it, but also if you have questions, I'm available.
Do I have a motion to approve this?
I make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion or questions? If not, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you. Sheriff.
Council, John Beeman, Sheriff's Department. This is just the board's overtime monies, both from the sheriff's side and the jail side. I don't know if you want to take them both at the same time or one. It's replenishment, reimbursement, whatever the term you'd like to use for that.
Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any discussion or questions? If not, all in favor, signify by aye. All right.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm not. Okay, so back to the review group. The contract is for $15,000. I'd like to take that out of the rainy day fund to have, to proceed forward with this contract. It takes them about a month to do this, to do everything that they need to do. If I could get a motion to approve that.
And so what they're going to be doing is just taking a look at how SB1 is going to affect their revenue.
They're going to do a parcel analysis for every parcel in Madison County to determine what the less of revenue that's going to be coming in off each of those properties. And it's going to be out for several, they'll take it out a couple of years. I didn't spend a hot minute since I read this, but let me see here. Projected impacts through 2033. It's an 8-year impact that they'll do for this.
So what happens if the state comes back and says, here's our outlook on it, and it's totally different than 3D Financial, and we spent $15,000 on it?
Well, they come highly recommended, and they've done this for other counties. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know when the state's gonna come back with that information. And I don't want to be in the same boat that we were in last year, at budget time, having to figure out why we didn't have as much revenue as we thought we were gonna have.
In the September, dollars come in, August, September, right before we do our first reading.
I know, and that's hard to start working on a budget and anticipating. I mean, last year we were in a good straight. We were going, we thought we had it, and then boom, we didn't. And then we were scrambling to try to figure out, you know, what we were going to do to make those cuts in order to be able to get our budget. It's such a late time in the year when we get those numbers.
I do think we have a different outlook this year than we did last year. Last year was such a surprise. This year we're going to have more of a sense of what's happening.
We
Well,
do. We do.
I don't know about that.
We know it's gonna be bad. That's what I'm saying. We know it's gonna be bad.
Just don't know
We
how
how
bad.
bad.
So I did spend several hours working on a spreadsheet. I haven't shared it with you yet, only because I'm not exactly sure. They predict what the loss of revenue is going to be for us because the Senate bill won, but I don't know how to apply that. If that means just to our portion of the property taxes, that's our loss, or is that the loss to the overall amount of money that's coming in property taxes before disbursement? Now, if it's the cuts, if it's the loss coming in at the top of the big pot of money, and as it sprinkles down into all the municipalities, it's not that much of an impact to us. It's a very minimal impact to us that we definitely can navigate through. If it's impacting just the county council's portion of it, it's tremendous impact. The prediction is over $6 million come next in 27. That's a lot of money that we would lose if it's just the county's portion. If it's $6 million over the whole, it's much easier to swallow, and we can navigate that. I am not a tax accountant, and I will tell you that this is not, I mean, I can read and I can study, but I cannot tell you that my numbers are solid. You know, I can look at our other revenue sources and our streams, and I've learned that, and I know what's going away, what's not going to be there. I think I pretty much understand our expenses, but I can't wrap my head around the total property tax because I don't have that expertise. So I understand that it's $15,000, and I hate to spend money, okay? But I really think that it's important that we get this information sooner rather than later. I don't want to wait till August or September to be figuring out how much money we have.
I agree. And right now, we don't know what we're looking at. We have no target that we're aiming at. We just know we need to cut. We know it's going to be bad. It's going to get worse. And I think by doing this, at least we'll have something that we're aiming at. So I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Is there any other discussion?
The auditor did speak to this like several months ago, correct? I think you did speak to this.
I highly recommend you do it.
Yeah, I don't know what month it was, but
It might have been January, actually.
yeah. Okay.
So a first and a second, if there's no other discussion, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, I will get that contract signed and sent in. Thank you. Okay, we have two salary ordinances. The first one is salary ordinance. Are you leaving us? Oh, okay. I was like, where's he going? Salary ordinance 2026-3B, an ordinance adjusting the salary of the employees for the year of 26 for problem-solving user fees from Fund 2504 and for the drug court for 9144. Do I have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. First off, public comment. I apologize.
Salary ordinances.
Don't, Oh, it was new money. We didn't have.
We do need it to be a roll call, though.
I am really confused today. I am so sorry. Yes, so I need a roll. Well, is there any discussion? Do we need discussion? I don't know if there's discussion. Okay, roll call vote, please.
Counselor Steele? Yes. Counselor Culp? Yes. Counselor Hawkins?
Yes.
Counselor Grabowski?
Yes.
Counselor Keller?
Yes.
President Norton?
Yes. Okay, that passes. And the second salary ordinance we have is 2026-3C, which is for the sheriff and the jail for overtime from the rainy day fund. Do I have a first?
I make a motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Okay, can we have roll call vote, please?
Counselor Steele? Yes. Counselor Culp? Yes. Counselor Likens?
Yes.
Counselor Grabowski?
Yes.
Counselor Keller?
Yes.
President Norton?
Yes. Okay, that passes. All right, we have public comment. I have a few people. The first one on here is Mr. Sargent.
David Sargent, Anderson, Indiana. Just one question for the council. Should we have had public comment on speaking for the reading contract? Just a question, because I know you need to do that.
It was underneath the rainy day fund.
So it's not new money where people have to, I just wanted to make sure, because I think it's fiscally responsible that you get that information as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next is Mike Geringer.
I am Michael Geringer, and I'm from Adams Township, and I would just like to briefly say that I want to thank you for your diligence and procedural items in order to get the sheriff's contract, employee contract signed and squared away. And what I saw was their representative was confident and happy, and I think that will spread out onto the public streets, and I think you deserve much needed applause and commended for that. Thank you.
The last person I have on here is Cheryl McKinney. I don't know. Okay. All right, with that, we are going to move, boy, this meeting went really fast. We're going to go ahead and move into the budget part of the hearing. Yes. Yes, okay, we'll take a 5-minute break to get the signatures to the contract.
Contract for 1 year, and it's strong negotiation time.
Well, we should be starting negotiations. We haven't, but yeah. Okay.
So if the council is going to work with.
It looks like your hand is shaking. Oh.
Or those.
We have asked the mayor's board to work with us simultaneously with that. Once we get the information from the VA,
You take those to the other end?
Some did, probably about, what am I signing?
She also has not received all the all the information from the VA. She was receiving emails from certain departments, but not every department.
I would say that we've had multiple, I mean, probably 10 to 15 departments and the senior fire departments that are coming through with, and even if they couldn't do fire, they gave us one.
So what, I need to budget this.
It's gonna be very, I don't think it's real inclusive, but it's gonna be, that's the merit that we need to do, it's been given to us.
Sorry, do you want to keep this? No, okay.
How we try to go forward as far as the department that didn't give cuts, so hopefully we're saying.
Yeah, hopefully it's.
Hopefully that insert that was one avenue, how we want to be thinking about that.
Well, before I sign this, do we need to put the date on it?
Maybe get into the weeds.
Since it has 2025 up there, does that matter?
You got deadlines? Nothing real today, sorry. March. No, you don't have to. You can go, I'll let you go. I'll give this to you, just if you wanna look at it, that's the hiring. Aren't I nice for letting you?
No, I added just a little bit and then I updated it for tonight, because I'm here again tonight.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Should do that.
Okay, so we will, are you ready, Todd? I don't know if you stop recording or not. Okay, so I passed on to several, to all of the council, hold on. Let's see, we're done signing. Okay, I had forwarded on to the council all the departments that had supplied cuts to me. I did get one today, and I have not forwarded that on to you yet, and that was from, let me see here. IT. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think you sent it to me, didn't you? Or- No,
I called and he sent it.
yes. So I will forward that to you guys, when I get back home tonight. So basically what I want to do tonight, I don't want to take a lot of time tonight, but I do want the council to review these, the cuts that have been given to us from some departments. I know there's still a few departments that have not submitted anything, and I know there's some that had contacted me, and I know the sheriff is here. Is he still here? There you are. I know that you were kind of gonna, did you want to speak at all to what you have going so far on your cuts? Because we don't have a formal thing from him yet.
Well, it's all pretty preliminary at this point in time, but moving forward with, what we have implemented so far with the 12-hour shift on the jail side, we've seen some savings. We're ahead of the last first 3 months of the year. Can't say a quarter yet, but we're getting there on that. And, but we think with the merger down in later in the year with MCCC, we'll have some savings both between them and us. But we don't know what that is or what it looks like until we get the deadline on the new jail to where we can start moving training and get that first batch of people in there. But we still got some things, and we'll have the 27 budget to you April, or proposal, or starting point anyway. So, but the biggest thing was the overtime on the jail side, and then we've done internal things for the sheriff's side for overtime as well, try to mitigate some of that overtime stuff. So it's just real flux right now on it.
What was the number that you gave us during the meeting for the jail that you guys have seen a reduction so far?
We're ahead $19,000 on overtime this 3 months, and that's with the those 6 holidays in that first pay period in January or second, whatever, that into December, 1st of January. So that was real significant compared to being 19,000 in the hole, or below, or on track where he'd been before. So. Oh yeah, because there's so much uncontrolled on the jail side, in particular hospitals and stuff like that, transportations that go along.
And one of the things I was thinking about is the county's going to cover that 27th pay, because we've already appropriated for that in our rainy day fund and our public safety fund for those particular people. And so that's going to probably alleviate you seeing that holiday pay that last month of December. Right.
Yeah, so we discussed that during our meeting, and we'll see how things playing out with the other, the part-times and the some of those lines like that to where we're at in the overtime line. But certainly a major significance in the jail side with that 12-hour shift. So
That's awesome. Is there anything else? Got any questions you guys have with the sheriff? No, all right, thanks.
nope, thank you.
So going forward, I would like this council to be very engaged in, what are we going to do with the departments that came through and gave us that 5% cut? What are we going to do with the departments who didn't give us any cuts or didn't give us a 5% cut? We also need to look at our budget book and see which departments we know absolutely cannot give us a 5% cut, because I'm just thinking of the recorder, for instance. They only have the recorder in her budget. And so she can't very well cut her, she can cut her salary, but I'm not asking her to do that, obviously. So it's something that we need to be looking at and to come to the council. I would like to have a meeting after the April meeting as well, to get into a little bit more of what are we going to do with where we're at with the departments that have complied and goodwill have given us those cuts. The main two reasons why I wanted to see cuts, one being that we don't know what's coming with Senate Bill 1, but we've not given raises to our employees for over 2 years, and I really think that it's crucially important that we be able to do something. And I can't unless we reduce our budgets. So that's one of the things. And then the other thing that we need to, try to figure out how to possibly get it back into the general fund is the $1 million we have in the rainy day for the insurance for the employees. So I don't know if there's any discussion from you guys of what you've seen or what you'd like to see happen or how we move forward from this point. But these are discussions we need to have going into our April meeting. I want to get into more of the nuts and bolts about how we're gonna move forward from this.
Well, just looking through, I don't know if you've got the spreadsheet that I forwarded you. I try to compile those that we've heard back from regarding their department cuts. Of the ones we heard back from, your instructions were to cut personnel, is what we were looking for, not operating expenses. Of the departments we've heard back from, only 2 actually did personnel cuts. The rest were from operating lines. And so when you look at the total of cuts was $537,000, only $57,000 of that was actual personnel cuts.
There's another personnel cut in the auditor's office. Don't mean to interrupt you.
No,
I just wanted
this
to
is all I
interject.
had at the time.
I know, just wanted to interject that.
And so if you look through the spreadsheet that I sent, there's line items that were completely zeroed out for like other supplies, office supplies, printing and advertising. I think that we can assume that we're going to have departments coming to us needing those down the line because they're going to need office supplies and operating supplies. So I don't know how this really reflects any cuts other than those personnel cuts, which I am grateful to those 2 departments that took that seriously and found a way to do that. But I don't see where, we actually accomplished much.
Well, I guess I needed to ask, is there anybody, or liaisons for different departments? And I would really like to see my liaisons meeting with your departments with these budget cuts to have some of those conversations with them to make sure they're not making cuts that are that they have the funding somewhere else possibly to be able to pay for those things that they are zeroing out. Mm-hmm. So that's a possibility. And that's where the liaisons need to come in and have meetings with their department heads to ascertain what that is. Are there any other departments that are not on this list that I've not received information on? You made a comment about the auditor's office. Yes. I wasn't aware of that. So
I thought we were discussing that tonight.
Okay. Yes. So absolutely. So meeting. Yep. Okay. Yep. So what do you have?
Well, 11228, third line down.
Okay.
That position has been absorbed.
Okay.
So that's a $43,513.
Which we give that again?
$43,513.
And that was what number again?
11228.
Okay. Do you have anybody else that you want to?
All the others have responded with the exception of 1, and the coroner has not found any area in which he could possibly, with the price of autopsies, can cut.
Did IT have any personnel cuts?
No.
The prosecutor was able to cut 15. It was not through personnel, but it was through a sustainable cut. He was able to renegotiate his contract with Axon, down 15,000.
I think, did everybody here meet with the prosecutor? What? Did you meet with the prosecutor? No. No. Did you? Yeah. Have you seen their report? If not, I'll make sure you get a copy of that. Because I did forward it, because I didn't know who he was on meeting with. Okay. Is there anybody else that's talked to anybody that is not on the list here? Okay, so your homework. I know you love that, right? I want you guys to get into the details of this. If we don't have details, I need you to meet with your departments as liaisons to get the information that we need so we can see where these cuts are actually coming from and see how they're going to affect those departments particularly. And next month, I want to have some discussion and I want to make a decision on where we're going from here. How we're going to deal with the department, which departments we know cannot make cuts and why they can't make cuts. We need to look at those budgets. And then for those who should be able to make cuts and haven't, or how are we gonna move forward with that? To be able to facilitate, like I said, giving salary increases to the employees. And then, well, the $1 million is a whole nother ballgame. So
Well, there were a couple other notes on some of these that were submitted. The commissioners mentioned that they are going to be short again on FICA. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. I looked at their budget from what they requested, and we did appropriate what they
Everything that they
requested.
requested.
So I'm not really sure why that's going to be short.
And then voter registration, they made cuts, but then they let us know that there's 2 other lines that they're not funded completely and that they're going to have to come back to us to get more funds. So they cut $1,500, but they're going to be coming back and asking for $6,500. So that's something to have on our radar. And then if on some of these line items that were zeroed out, whoever the liaison is finds out if those are being funded some other way, is that sustainable? Like not just for this year, but in perpetuity. So those would be my questions.
And I can say that after working through my spreadsheet, well, you kind of gave me some news today that I did not like, which is that you heard that in one of the bills passed at the State House, they're not looking at implementing Senate Bill 1 in 28.
The lit structure, they're pushing out another year.
And that is not good. I see our budget next year, it's going to be hit hard and it's going to be a tough year, but then I hold the numbers and I'm like, well, I think we're going to be okay. Once the lit structure comes into place, I think we're going to be good. But now you're telling me it's going to be pushed out another year, and that's not good. So I'm going to try to find out a little bit more information on that. Because that's going to determine what decisions we make this year for the next year. So.
Well, and I do have something here that I wanted to make a motion for a hiring freeze. I know that this is something that will directly impact personnel. That's what we were hoping to accomplish with the 5% cuts that were requested. This will directly affect personnel. We can have policy in place to where we hear exceptions on that. I just feel like this is something we can do now that'll make an impact in order to help prepare us for the revenue drop that's coming.
I think it's something that we can consider next month. After we decide, because I don't want to penalize my departments that came through and did do personnel cuts and that did do the 5% cut. I don't want to penalize them with a hiring freeze.
But there's exceptions in there if we decide that we want to do that. We get to determine that. It's the same one I've had. Yeah, he's seen it. Yeah.
Well, without Bob being here, I didn't know that you were going to actually ask for this to be voted on
Oh,
tonight.
okay.
Sorry. So, I know Bob has a resolution that he prepared for the hiring freeze, I believe. And so without having our attorney review it,
Well, we'd already voted for a hiring freeze. We just didn't have a resolution, and now we have a resolution. So we can change it if we don't like it, down the road.
We can adopt it later if we need it. I'm not, well, if there's a motion, no second, so we're in debate, probably need to wait for a second.
We have a meeting because.
we're still in a meeting, yes.
Okay.
I can have a second if somebody's willing to second it.
I'll second it so we can talk.
Okay. So discussion then. My personal thoughts are, I'm not opposed to a hiring freeze, but I'm going to limit it to certain departments. Because I'm not, if the departments came forward and they gave me the cuts we needed, as well as reducing personnel, I don't think it's right now to give a hiring freeze to them. I don't think that's right. That's my two cents.
I can't
So-
support it right now. It is something on the table we bring it up. It may be necessary. I think once you get the information from the reading, you get a little closer to budget time and you see where the impasse. We have a number of department heads here. I don't know if you plan on letting them speak if they have.
Absolutely. If there's anybody that wants to talk, it's a department head.
I can't imagine there's anybody who wants a hiring freeze,
I'm
and
not
that's why.
about this, but I was, later on, this got a little sidetracked. I can't support it.
Well, I had made the motion back in January and it failed. And since then, there's been 7 new job postings. And so this is something that we could do now that would actually impact what we're trying to accomplish with personnel.
But some of these departments have to have a certain amount of employees and, I mean.
And they would
like
be
probation,
accepted from it.
I
That's what's in
understand,
there.
but that, again, I agree with Rob. I just think it's just trying to take too much control right now at this time. And I don't think we need to control everybody. No offense.
Well, but we do control the budget, and that's
We
what
do
we're talking
control the
about.
budget, and at any point in time, I do believe that we could, it's always at the purview of the council to unfund a line if we feel it would be necessary. Just my opinion.
My other thought is that right now, we have a budget in place for this year. We've already approved it and it's funded. So to put a hiring freeze in the middle of a year that's already funded, I understand we would save money, but I don't think that that's really where our problem is. Funding this year, it's moving forward to next year and being able to fund everything that's there. If that makes sense.
Right, and that's what we were asking with the 5% cuts
It is.
mid-year.
And we know we're gonna have to cut employees eventually. And we asked the departments to do 5% cuts. You have 4 departments that adjusted with employees. And so we're gonna have to do it anyway, and so this would at least give us a mechanism to do so.
And it doesn't tie our hands. There's a process to follow for exemptions. It's not like we can't approve it. If there's someone who absolutely has to have an exemption, then we can do it. But at least this gets us going now.
Well, I really want the attorney to review the resolution to make sure that it's a legal resolution. It's not that I don't think you can draft a resolution, Christy, I think you can. But I even work for a law office and I wouldn't trust myself to draft a resolution.
So that's why I made it very straightforward. There's not.
And there's some things within this resolution that I don't like. So, I would like to at least give it 1 more month. For the remainder of the departments to come forward to see where we're at, and for the liaisons to be able to meet with the departments to see. I know. So we have a first and a second. Is there any more discussion? So can we do a roll call vote?
Councilor Steele? No. Councilor Culp? No. Councilor Lyken?
No.
Councilor Grabowski?
Yes.
Councilor Keller?
No.
President Norris?
No. Okay, Is there anything else you guys want to discuss? And are we good with having a meeting after the meeting, in April?
And as long as anyone wants to speak, and you may be getting ready to do that.
Yes. Is there anybody that wants to tell us anything? Well, it's just for department heads, because it's just budget right now, sorry. Any department heads?
Any questions, suggestions?
Rates and
The numerous departments have put together very detailed
Yeah.
and made very good arguments.
And I appreciate the departments that
Thank you
gave
very much.
effort and did do that. I really do appreciate that.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you guys want to discuss? You know your charging orders for next month?
Well, and I hope that people will show up with some ideas to cut.
Yeah.
Well, there's another, not just people, we can start beginning to think of services and ask the department services that we provide. Is there a service we provide to the community that's not required by law that we can get rid of and save money?
Yep.
That's oversight. The governor wants us to look at services and crunching our taxes. Something you're doing that is non-value added or something we can automate. I think that's something that's been left out of this, or at least explicitly left out. I think it's just one more step to get us in another avenue or investment in some technology. Can we eliminate something and expense by spending some one-time dollars?
Yes.
Minimal money. You know your department's best, and I don't want to have to make cuts.
Anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed?